To whom it may concern, Griffin, you are a fraud. All this talk of
just responded to this.
Shut
I
up.
just dealt with the issue.
All this talk of producing new content, we've been left in the dust. Bring back Why Your Main Sucks. I need more reading material for when I use the bathroom. Think about the fans, Griffo. Think about me and all the other bad Melee and Corey in the House fans out there.
I got too much shit to do. I'm writing an article.
Look, guys, and
stuff.
Look,
Jim
Jam can attest to this. Writing is pretty hard, and also, if you're lazy, it's even harder.
Yeah, no doubt. And this guy, I did want to say, he said for when he's in the bathroom, he's talking about when he urinates too, because in my estimation of what I know about him, what he'll do is he'll wait for a few hours, drinking, several liters of water, and then he will, have to urinate for maybe 25 minutes straight, and then he'll just go to your blog,
right?
On his phone. That's when he gets his reading time in. You got to make time, is what I'm saying, and that's how he does it.
All right, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do it.
All right. So I have to admit I haven't listened to any podcasts, so don't hold that against me. But
you haven't missed anything, dude.
100% don't hold that against you. I actually think you're a better person for having not listened to us.
We're coming with no expectations. That's the way to go.
Yeah.
Good.
So here we are, the Bad Melee podcast, with a very special guest and a special time for all of us. We have Jim Jam Flim Flam on the space deck, and he's here. It's no joke. He's literally...
It's so cold on this deck.
It's space. I told you it was going to be like this, and now you're complaining.
All that, but I mean, So,
you guys got to get one of those heaters they have at restaurants when you sit outdoors.
Yeah, like one of the big old. Yeah, I know, like a
little tiki heater on the space deck.
In space.
Do they have one of those at your pizza shack, Damien?
Oh, I mean, just tons, man. I mean, we practically make pizza on them sometimes. It gets a little too fiery in there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was actually having a conversation with someone the other day about how horrifying it would be to be depressurized in space, because we were talking about that Magic School Bus episode. Fuck that, dude.
Oh, where Arnold is on Pluto or something.
He gets really mad and he's like, fuck this, and takes off his helmet.
I remember watching that in third grade Earth Science and being like, did this fucker just kill himself because his cousin's a bitch?
It's terrifying, dude.
What world is this?
Plot thickens, guys. That's what all TV is going to, is those kind of endings.
Was it graphic? I mean, did his head explode?
No, it turned to ice. His eyes turned black or something.
It's really fucked up, dude.
It's horror film shit.
There's a Vine where some guy's watching it, and it's like this really loud guy's watching it, and he takes off his helmet. It's like, yo, he's fucking dead. And it's that's what we all thought when it.
And they throw him onto a bus, and he just thaws.
yeah.
This is supposed to be an educational show.
At the end of the show, he just has a cold. He's all sick. Oh, fuck, I feel so bad.
What message is that sending? Hey, kids, feel free to make rash, self-destructive decisions because you hate your relatives. You'll just get a cold.
Well, remember, I mean, the show is supposed to be educational, but don't forget there was a magic school bus. So,
yeah.
I mean, you have to suspend disbelief within the school bus at least. So, I mean, his head thawing within the scope of the show. Totally fair.
Maybe that's what it.
Given that they have previously shrunk themselves down and lived in Arnold's anus for a little bit.
I think it was for 50 years.
Time moves differently when you're that small.
Yeah, I think the writers got a bit confused as to the direction of the show after a while.
It was 50 years for them, but it was only
it was like that from Narnia.
It was one shit for him, but it happened over the course of 50 years from their perspective.
Dozens and dozens of shits that they had to just deal with and observe.
Yeah, that was the lesson. They're like, we're gonna figure this out. But they really broke ground actually in that field. So people don't give them enough credit for that.
Miss Frizzle, by the way, totally fucks. She does.
Oh yeah.
On the show, off the show, still right now, 85, however old she is.
I bet she's into pegging.
Yeah, she's into weird shit. She went to art school, but dropped out and wears overalls on the weekends.
Guys, she's shrinking that bust down for another reason.
Anyway, Jim Jam, he contacted me very, very recently before the podcast
and cryptically too.
Cryptically, and he said he had something to share with us, and what he's going to share. Actually, I'll just let you explain. Go ahead.
Well, you guys, I think most people, it's kind of a not secret that I'm hugely into fan fiction. You know, I'll spend like 3 or 4 hours a day. When I get home from work just to relax, I will just go onto fanfiction.net and I'll just immerse myself in those fictional worlds because when you're into Melee or you're into another game, you want to get as deep into it as you can. So I've never written a piece, but today I did write my first piece of fan fiction. So
now let me ask you: do you peruse all genres of fan fiction as far as games, or do you just stick to Melee?
No, I especially read things that I am no familiarity with the game or show or character, because for me that is a truly kind of mind expanding experience. These characters could be anybody. I don't want to limit them to my own preconceptions about their characterhood in a novel or game or show or whatever.
And you know what? Good on you. Let me just say for doing that,
that's
because
a beautiful
I feel like
outlook.
Exactly. It's a really limiting factor. The fan fiction community themselves, have even stated, the higher ups, if you will, in the community of fan fiction.
I read a fan fiction once where the turtle skeleton from Super Mario fucked.
Dry Bones?
Yeah, Dry Bones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's a good fan fiction, right?
For my high school creative writing class, we had to write fan fictions, which was
about people fucking or characters fucking.
One kid did that, and we had to share a passage. That was weird. I think everyone kind of expected, because we got in one of those big semicircles to share, and mine was about the Hunger Games, where the mutation, whatever the fuck they're called, were Pokemon, which was fucking sick. Mine was easily the best. Everyone else was a schlub, but everyone knew because he wore one of those T-shirt button-ups that had flames on it all the time, and so people just knew.
Guy Fieri, the Guy Fieri.
Yeah, but he was way more oily rather than sticky, like Guy Fieri. So
I think he actually was Guy Fieri. Are you sure that he didn't attend?
It was boy Fieri.
The son. Yeah, I think I could see.
All right, have you guys ever seen Guy Fieri not in character, just dressed as a normal human being?
He's a black guy. He's a black guy. It's so.
It's the cameras come on. And it's just like that.
Yeah, he's turn those
white
cameras
face
up.
Off. He's fucking Jesus, thank you.
God, just make sure my name's in the check. All right, that's GUY. I'm not gonna
just go Google Guy Fieri normal for me, so you can see he looks like 13 cheeseburger Mario.
Back to the sauce. The boy JJFF, if I can call you that. I don't know if we're close enough yet, but I thought I'd push it.
Yeah, call me JJFF.
Yeah, JJFF is. I mean, if you guys don't know, that's actually his birth name. So he had to figure out. The acronym came first, and then he came up with his name afterwards.
It's called a backronym.
Yeah.
Acronym. Yeah,
exactly.
It is. I guess it's fucking amateur hour, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, when I was born, they thought of that term. So I had to put in a.
Hey, let's fucking do this, and here he is.
But he had his story. I think we all love our tangents, so I'll let him start that if you want.
No, that was great. So, when you're writing a fan fiction is different. You should probably write about something and what do we know better than Smash Bros. Melee? So it's a Smash Brothers, if you will, fan fiction. And so in this piece, what I do is I just try to imagine some of our favorite characters being thrown into real world, real life situations as if they were interacting with real people. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Feel free. You can interrupt me, or if you want to comment or ask a question, because I know the universe. I do have a script here, but if you have a question, I can answer it. Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, great.
All right. If you're ready,
please, by all means.
Ahem. Okay. All right. The scene is an office cubicle. Yoshi is especially anthropomorphized here. Anthropomorphized? I'm not sure which. But Yoshi is especially anthropomorphic here. He's wearing a suit and tie. He normally has 4 fingers, but for this fan fiction, he's got 5 fingers.
On each hand?
On each hand.
Okay.
He's typing furiously, working on the big project. He's using his 5th finger, a pinky, to hit a number of the buttons, including semicolon, P, question mark, enter, caps lock, and both shifts. He types on 135 words per minute net.
It's very impressive for a dinosaur, especially.
Mm-hmm. God damn this rat race, says Yoshi. It's tough being out here in the real world, in a real world scenario. At this point, Dr. Mario enters the cubicle. Shout out. He has quit being a doctor and is now a mid-level manager for the big corporation. He still carries around pills, though, because he's addicted to oxycodone on the down low. Yoshi, do you have the annual report for this year yet? Says Dr. Mario. Listen, doctor, I'm swamped here. I came in both weekend days, and I still haven't gotten to the annual report yet. Besides, the year has barely started. The clock on the wall says January 11th. Yoshi, I don't give a single F what time of year it is. I want that report on my desk by 5 o'clock yesterday. Also, time is a flat circle in this fan fiction, says Dr. Mario.
Now let me ask this, so Dr. Mario still demands to be called Dr. Mario, even though he is no longer a medical professional.
Yeah, I mean,
he wasn't kicked out of the field. He is still...
Yeah, it's
he could practice medicine.
Yeah, Ben Carson was running for president, but they still called him Dr. Carson because he's got the MD.
I guess Mario doesn't have a last name unless Mario is his last name and Super is the first name.
No, it's Mario.
Oh,
it's like Kelly.
Okay,
it's a lot like Kelly for Mario.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Go on.
Okay. Dr. Mario storms out of the office high as F on the painkillers. Game & Watch walks into the office. In this fan fiction, he's just a tall black man because his character is defaulted as black in Melee. However, him being black doesn't predispose him to any stereotypical assumptions about black people in the workplace. He's just a normal coworker, and if you figured otherwise, you're the racist, not me. Oh shit, I was going to say hello, but I forgot that I had some work to do. See ya, says Game & Watch. Game & Watch exits the room. Cubicle. Next, walking right past Game & Watch, Cactuar enters the cubicle.
Oh, hell
Cactuar, the man.
Yes.
Okay.
The man Cactuar enters the cubicle. He is a consultant that the company has brought in for the big project. His hair is dyed silver and spiked 10 feet high into the air. He's wearing a miniature replica of Big Ben on his wrist as a fully functional wristwatch. He is wearing velour sweatpants and snakeskin boots. His leather jacket is half unzipped, revealing a Ken Griffey Jr. jersey underneath. He wears platinum-weighted anklets. Hey, what's up, Yoshi? I have some important documents that I think you'd like to see, but keep this hush-hush, okay? There seems to be some shady stuff going on at the corporation, says Cactuar. Yoshi motions for the documents. Cactuar hands the documents to him. Yoshi begins to read the documents. His eyes pop open comically large. Normally, he's very anthropomorphic in this fan fiction, but in this instance, his eyes are especially large, like a cartoon. Oh my motherfucking god damn it. Shady is putting it lightly, more like very shady, and maybe even that isn't fully conveying it, says Yoshi. I know, right? I talked to Bladewise, and he's convinced that this goes all the way up to the top. That's right, all the way up to our co-CEOs, the Ice Climbers, responded Cactuar. Even Popo? I've always suspected Nana, but Popo? No mother fucking way, shrieked Yoshi. You think he's sitting there oblivious, in the dark, like a fucking bat? You think he's just sitting there, hanging upside down in the dark, like a goddamn bat or something? Well, I've got news for you, Yoshi. You're the one in the dark. Popo is complicit to these atrocities at best. And sitting by idly while the world goes to shit is just as bad as being the one that does the shitting, said Cactuar, pretty angrily. You're right, Cactuar, sighed Yoshi. He goes on. But is there really anything we can do about it? We're just two regular guys. Even if we did share these documents, no one would ever believe us. Let's just forget it, Yoshi. Keep our heads down, keep cashing those paychecks. The whole goddamn system is corrupt, and the best we can do is look out for ourselves. So, do you want to play some Melee, says Cactuar. Yoshi pulls out a GameCube and CRT from under his desk. He clocks out for lunch so as not to get reprimanded for playing on company time. They turn on the game and begin to play. In the fanfiction universe, it's a cool twist where the characters in the actual game of Melee are the gods from real life, and also some celebs like D1 or MVG Greg. It's a fun twist because it's like the opposite of us, kind of, in this world. The two of them play several games and make a few chuckle-worthy remarks where they seem self-aware about the fact they're in a fan fiction. Yoshi looks at the camera and winks, and Cactuar unzips his head, revealing an alien head underneath. The end. All right. Great. Wow. That's my first fan fiction. What do you guys think about that?
I don't know about you guys, but I feel like, this Melee thing, it may work out now, but I think what you really need to do, not keep all your eggs in one basket. I think this is your career. I don't want to...
you say this is your first fan fiction, and you could have fooled me.
You could have fooled me.
You could have fooled me.
At least three of us.
The part...
Well, I mean, I don't want to... I have been storyboarding fan fictions for years. This is the first one I've actually written out, though.
You've mustered the courage for.
Let me ask you, why Cactuar? I mean, there are a lot of other people. Why him?
Cactuar just he stands out to me. He's iconic. When I think of Melee, I think of just Cactuar's face. That's just what pops up.
Yeah.
I think the part of it that I liked is that in the beginning, it was what the F, because it showed restraint. It showed an unwillingness to cross that line, but you could see as the stakes got higher.
I mean, as I was getting more excited, I prefer to type, F or, man, this effing thing or this or that, But eventually, I can't hold back, and it just, I type that word, and I'm ashamed, but it's my. You don't want to lie to yourself. You type it out. You gotta say it.
It gave me It made me feel like I was next to you, like I understood.
Like I was in that cubicle learning about this tragic event.
You know what else? Much like the briefcase in Pulp Fiction, we don't know what he saw on that document, and we may never know.
I think the first thing we need to establish is whether or not this is the actual sequel to Pulp Fiction or not.
Right.
Because that Quentin guy...
I did get his blessing here, and I said the way I put it. It's in the same universe as all the Pulp Fiction movies are in the same universe, and this resides in that same universe, obviously. And Quint was a little hesitant at first, but when I wrote that $10,000 check, and he changed
his mind
fast.
He came around a little bit. And also one final thing. Kudos to you for. I mean, it's called low-hanging fruit. You set a Melee fan fiction in an office setting. You didn't include Donkey Kong, who famously is the only character in the whole series that has an office attire.
Almost as good as your ties, Anthony.
Dude, my ties are sick.
Today he's wearing like a black and white button up with like this fucking like royal purple.
It's pink,
thick tie.
It's a pink like polyester tie, but everyone sees that and they're like, dude, nice tie.
Dude,
either they're all fucking with me or they're not.
It's like when the handicapped kid in the class walks out of the bathroom with his jeans on backwards. They're like, sick, dude. That's exactly what that was. Be honest with yourself.
I should write you into the next chapter.
Yes.
Usually, I do work in an office, and I have dope ties, so,
And his boss does kind of do coding every once in a while. Not addicted. He wouldn't say addicted, but,
So, Jim Jam, what besides writing fan fiction that touches the hearts and minds and reveals universal truths about the human experience, what else have you been up to, dude?
I'll just work on calligraphy, like any sort of writing I can do, typing or
the mere act is enough.
Yeah, and it's the expression of words, even if it is not. Art doesn't have to be pure or true necessarily, so it's just really about me typing or writing words, and it could be a random string of words too, but then mostly, writing, physically writing or typing.
Cool. Do you copy stuff down sometimes?
I will... If someone says to me, I'd dictate it or... Well,
okay, for instance, in 4th grade, do you guys remember the Captain Underpants books?
Yeah.
I mean, as any man should.
So I liked those books, and in 4th grade, I wrote a short story for an assignment that used, I think it was the second book, had this very, very long word for like a machine that the Captain Underpants used or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I took this word, and I used it in my short story, and I also used the concept that it was like a machine that copied things like physically or something. I don't know. It's kind of ironic now I think about it. But so I write this story. the teachers think
you guys know the term? Do you know the term meta? It's like so meta.
It's so meta. It was so meta.
That? Oh my god!
I was sick, dude. No, so the teachers fucking loved it. They thought I was a genius, actually. And they submitted my story to the Gifted Boys coalition, and I actually was chosen to read my story in Aspen in front of adults.
Human beings.
They thought I was a genius because I came up with this idea in my story. This is not made up, by the way, but I just fucking plagiarized it. I just copied Captain Underpants, and no one caught on.
I can't believe one person didn't stand up in Aspen.
Not a single person.
Someone's just going down the slopes next to you, and he overhears that one word, and he just screams out fraud.
You son of a bitch.
I think the funniest part of this is, in the world where someone calls you out like an adult male, do you still admit to them that it's from Captain Underpants then and there, or do you call out the fraud? Yeah, you have to. I think you have to kind of keep it on the DL that you know what it's from.
Dude, this has weighed on my heart for a long time.
Glad you could get it out.
If someone comes up to me and is like, "You were the fucking guy," and I read Captain Underpants and I didn't say anything because I didn't want to cause a scene.
I don't even think they would have to say anything beyond "you were the fucking guy," and you would immediately know what he's talking about.
Just go white with fear, oh god.
Yeah. He just holds up the book after he says that.
But what I was trying to get across to you is that you can just copy stuff down, dude. You can just take stuff that other people have written and write it as your own.
They should really make a law against that.
They'll like you for it.
You can know a really funny story. My debate coach in high school, his cousin's son or some shit was in Harvard or some Ivy League school and had a 4.0 going, and I think it was the very beginning of his second semester of his senior year, he got caught plagiarizing a paper, got everything taken away. He'd been getting a full ride to go there too. Got that taken away. And he had to go finish his final 2 years because he had to do an extra year because the credits wouldn't transfer at some rinky-dink ass private school in New Hampshire. So be wary, kids.
That's not really a funny story, Griffin.
Yeah, thanks, Griffin. I mean, we had this vibe going.
A tragic.
I think we've got different. That's so funny to me, though.
Griffin,
this kid he had everything going right for him, but he was just too fucking lazy to do one thing legitimately and got everything taken away. That's beautiful.
That's
I love
the beauty of life in Griffin's eyes, boys. I mean, that's actually our new Bad Melee slogan. We're gonna adopt it pretty soon. All three of us are getting tattoos. Jim, if I can call you that, if you want to join in, it's just gonna be Thug Life Tupac-esque, but what he just said actually right there. So. You're invited.
Really, the entire story.
Yeah, the whole story.
In Comic Sans.
I got enough chest. I got enough chest to go around, boys. Okay,
I can do the calligraphy on the Thug Life.
Yeah, you can. You've been practicing.
I can do the tattoos.
Wait, hold on. Did you say you got into the Gifted program for that?
I didn't. I was tooting my own dick a little bit, but I was already in the Gifted program. Like many in suburbia. I was
going to say, I got into mine because I did a car puzzle correctly.
Hey, dude, those cars are complex.
Where you need to move cars around to get the green one to go through the hole, and I did it amazingly. And my teachers were like, "Wow,
it was
this
more
kid's going places."
It was more like a one-off thing. It was I was chosen. They put me to attention to gifted. I shared a stage. I went up, and it was this gifted kids showcase, and there was this other kid a year older than me that played saxophone like a fucking amazing jazz musician, and all I did was read this fucking plagiarized story.
Quite the story.
Thanks for.
You should have taken it next year, came back and played the saxophone, but Milli Vanilli'd it. I don't know, I don't even know what it's called when you don't actually play an instrument, but there's a recording of it.
Yeah, like a lip sync, but not with my voice.
That a saxophone
and
sing.
they'd all be just wow, he's amazing. Is he? I can't believe
he's playing the exact same song that the guy played last year. It's a recording of that guy from last year.
Not even high quality, you know what I mean? Like a phone recording of a fourth grader. That.
The tape goes on a little bit too long and you hear yourself reading the story at the end of it. And you'd have to act like you're lip syncing that as well.
Right.
You're self-aware.
Holy shit, a dual performance. This kid's incredible.
Yeah, they would just like clap their hands and just like
Run
be
with
in
it.
awe. Wow, this kid's going places. At 25 years old, I'm talking to internet people about video games. So
And barely talking about video games.
Yeah, not even doing that. Flimmy, talking about Melee here. How do you expect to do at Battle of the Five Gods?
Well, there is that rule where if you are able to take someone's hotel room that is supposed to be in the tournament the next day, and you can emerge from their hotel the morning of the event. So I think I can get in there and take Hug's spot.
I mean, that's what we were taking into account beforehand. You know, like we knew that you would at least get there through the hotel method, the colloquial known hotel
Actually,
method.
I'm sorry, we cannot allow you to take Hug's spot because he's been on the podcast previously.
That's required.
yeah, you got to get somebody else.
We need that representation.
Maybe
I would greatly appreciate you take SFAT's spot.
Yeah. Oh, really? Why specifically him?
His eyebrow piercing.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you're right. But you don't understand. I have to come out with a pierced eyebrow.
That's true. And then once that
I
happens,
have to go into his hotel room and put on all of his clothes. I have to put on any piercings, and he might have piercings that I don't know about.
that's true.
Like if you're willing,
the eyebrow's never the first
you are
one.
willing to get your eyebrow pierced, nothing. Your taint.
Yeah.
Nothing.
You have to
nothing's off
become
limits.
J-Fat. That is, well.
Actually, my
All
dad.
right. Okay, so we'll do who is the most replaceable person? Who the most like bland that he could just walk in and become and then walk out?
Are we all typing right now?
Yeah, right.
Just mad.
My God.
See here.
I would say Axe, but you would have to become an ethnicity I'm not sure of, and super nice.
Samoan, whatever he
Is
is.
he black? I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think he's like half black, maybe half. Maybe he's a mix of.
Half and half.
I think he's Hispanic. I'm pretty sure he. But his name's like Jeffrey Williams.
Axe is 100% a black man.
Not
Sorry, but he just is.
I don't know. I think he's like the best I've ever.
I don't know what color is.
Jim Jam, you could put a power drill into your temple enough not to kill you, but and then you could just be Nintendo.
Go on.
Hold on, I'm interested.
You've said enough. Like I'm on board. You had me at power drill.
Yeah, and then you could emerge from the hotel room as Nintendo dude, and then you would be. That's a pretty good bracket, I think.
Do you think Nintendo could, if you put makeup on him, he could play Frankenstein in a play?
He legitimately looks like a
table.
lobotomized patient from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest when he plays. He looks completely vacant, like he's had way too much electroshock and then got part of his brain put a drill in.
Yeah, you could make him. He could play a GameCube in a melee play. Any inanimate object, I think he could really just kill.
First melee.
You got the dance of the Nintendo dudes where it's him doing an interpretive dance of a game. It's literally just him spinning, like replicating the disc inside of him on the ground.
And then he vomits at the end with no expression and just walks off stage.
Let's write that. You know what? Let's take that out of the podcast, boys. That's too good to be out in the world. We're going to keep that one. Keep that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to phone him up. Let's see. Okay, you could be Ice. You would just have to be German and handsome.
I mean, you've already got handsome.
You're already German, so...
Yeah. Yeah, the handsome thing. No go. I mean, morally, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, that's just fair.
Yeah, I am also not morally handsome. Well, I mean, okay, past that, let's say you assume the identity of one of these 20 schmucks. What are your proposed sort of... How do you think you're going to do? Because, I mean, you're going to pick the young Ness.
Yeah, I got to pick Ness. Well, no, here's what I'll do. I'll look at these groups. I'll see which characters match up, the 80-20 Ness matchups in favor of Ness and try to go that route. Group A is looking pretty good. There's no Sheik or Captain Falcon or Marth in there. So I think I'd have to go Group A, and I will have to take SFAT's spot. And I'll take the piercings as well.
I mean, it's cool. Plural.
Yeah,
just make sure report back because now I'm fairly certain SFAT has a testicular piercing. I think that's pretty much
through his testicle. Like
no, like the sack. What's that called?
No, it's through his testicle. Yeah.
Oh shit!
It's like 4 inches long.
Oh, that's so gross. I was gonna say they're gauged. Oh,
keeps his house.
Jesus.
He keeps his house key on it.
That's vile.
In case he gets locked out.
Fuck. That's so gross.
Yeah,
Well,
no, I think
someone
really
out
good.
there, probably SFAT has that.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I'll look through his
testicular gauge.
Yeah.
I will look through his
Just Twitter,
jewelry box and report back.
Okay, see what we've got. See what's on our plate.
Next up on the podcast, SFAT's coming on. Unrelated to testicular piercing, he's just going to come on and talk. Just going to say things about where he gets them, why he gets them. So just up.
I feel like there's literally no one worse we could bring on the podcast besides Drugged Fox.
I think
I don't know. Maybe he's like lit when he's like.
No. I don't mean that. I bet because like I've heard SFAT's actually like a super cool, funny guy.
No, I'm sure
I just mean in terms of like I would literally just have to ask him about his eyebrow piercing.
I don't think
all the time
that exists.
And like just how many screenshots I have of Twitch chat saying he looks like a molester because of his facial hair. Just a molester in general, not child, just in general.
Just one who
At least he's got
Like,
that going for him.
no,
It's not child.
Like I literally saw one which was like he is a pan pedophile or not pan
Panophile.
Panophile.
he's a pan molester in that he holds no judgments on gender fluidity, on your biological sex. He simply wants to molest. That was what I gathered from it. So
Yeah.
I'd have to ask about that.
Insight. What a guy.
I think Jim Jam, you would do really well because Ness's forward air, if you guys didn't know that, is pretty. It's good because it hits a couple times.
Yeah, it'll hit you.
It'll hit you. You hit it like it goes like beep, 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 like if I was on a shield. That's like it's very good. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, if you haven't seen, sorry, you go ahead.
I see all these foxes in Group A. So these foxes are trying to come in. Just wall them out, baby.
You wall them out, dude. You hit that
If you haven't
forward
seen-
air.
It's that simple.
Seen a Jim Jam set. He plays Ness, obviously, secondary Kirby, but that's on the down low. And for the most part, guys, he actually only uses forward air. So there's not a lot of movement options. But you know what? Once they come in, they don't come out, as they say. So that's.
I'm not sure if you're joking, but I do like heavily rely on forward.
No. So listen, this was not.
That's actually true. Yeah.
I mean, you're not playing Ness for nothing.
I mean, yeah, Ness without a forward air is like a human being without
it's like
fucking
SFAT
anything
without that piercing.
Without the eyebrow piercing.
It's not the same guy.
You want to know something? Since
He's like Ness at that point.
His performance has skyrocketed. Like literally, the only bad turn he's had with that was DreamHack Winter or DreamHack whatever the fuck in Sweden. Literally everything else has gone well for him.
It's symbolic of newfound competence. You're not going to wear that.
And also
listen,
2003
I
and
don't-
a PlayStation 2 and a Slipknot CD. It's symbolic of those things.
I thought we said it was corn.
Yeah,
I mean, are they any different?
That's a lot more of a corn piercing, not a Slipknot piercing.
I do want to talk though. I went to a tournament, and this is over the weekend, and I played in teams, and I never play in teams. I know Jim Jam, you really like teams.
It's true.
That's Samus, let's go.
And I play with this legendary player from Claremont. It's called V Money. He's a memer extraordinaire. He's been playing for a very long time, and so we're playing right. Falco Marth. He's Marth. Worst team fucking imaginable. We go up against this pretty hard team of these two guys. We get shit on the first game. Second game, we clutch it out. Third game, take them to Pokemon. It's like a Fox Chic team. We fucking got them, dude. We fucking got some young fucking early stocks. Shit's going off. Shit's popping off. My friend Victor Ken combos the Fox on his last stock. All that's left is a Chic on one stock. It's lit. I'm like, holy shit. I get so excited that I run off the stage and down air my Marth teammate. At this point, I'm like, fuck. You can see it in the VOD. I say it very loud, and I'm really upset. And my teammate's totally cool. He's like, it's okay. You got this. Because the Sheik's at like 60, and I'm at 0. I'm like, okay. And then I just look at the Sheik, and I'm like, I don't know how to play this game. And I tell him, no, I don't got this. And he's like, don't say that. And I'm like, no, I don't got this. And I'm like losing in neutral as I'm telling him, I don't got this, dude. He's like, don't say that.
Jesus.
I literally
it's a horror
got
story.
down smashed, gimped, and that's it, and we lost the fucking set.
You should have done the Moon DJ Nintendo, where you just
Switch
gave him,
baby.
just give him the controller.
Here,
hey
dude,
man, all right, handle
it.
this. You know what to do.
So we lose that.
Or the trick where he stands behind you and he pretends that his arms are your arms.
That's the lesser known DJ Nintendo move.
Yeah.
It's like with those dog gifs as well. It's like the dog's eating with human hands.
Yeah.
Anyway, we go to losers. Jim Jam, you've been playing a long time. You got any salty stories? Any team stories? Anything? I mean, you've been playing a young boy.
You got that one fucking low tier hater who
the little dude from Genesis.
Yeah.
What?
With all the numbers.
Oh, you guys don't know it. I feel like I've talked about it a lot, but I will talk about it again if people want to hear it.
I don't know what it is.
It's hilarious.
It is really.
All right, on the record. So I made it out of pools in Genesis. So
Winners
it's
or losers?
like I went through in losers. I lost to L in winners finals. Okay. The Alvin dude from I think NorCal.
Was this round one of pools? I'm sorry, I missed it. Was this round one of pools or round two?
I made it through round one in losers, so it was round two. My first set on day two, and it was a guy, and his name was DK Main or Donkey Kong Main, and I was like, oh man, this can't be. Is he really a Donkey Kong Main? I was kind of hoping he was, because like it's easy to just assume that someone that plays a bad character is bad, even though I play Ness. So it turns out he's a Marth, and I beat him pretty easily, like double two stock or whatever, and he's willfully not adapting to Ness. He's like, as a form of protest, I will not learn what I'm doing wrong. I'll continue doing the same things because it should work, or it would work against high tier or whatever. And I playing Ness, I feel like I do, because he's not so great. I actually do try to be tricky about things. Like I'll spot dodge like 5 times in a row sometimes. Like they'll just keep grabbing and I'll keep spot dodging until they grab me, like over and over. Or I'll spot dodge twice and then like back air, like when they try. I'll try to predict when they're going to wait and try to grab me after a spot dodge, or something like that. And so I beat him the first one. I think I hit him with a PK flash in the first one. And like game 2, it was Pokemon Stadium, and there was a transformation. We both, of course, it's like the rock transformation, so I'm just PK thundering over the top, and he's trying to power shield these PK thunders, but he's missing half of them. So he takes like 30%, and he's getting madder and madder. Like, but he keeps doing it. So I don't know. He seemed like he's not a bad player by any means, but he just like was getting mad and being real, very impatient. So it ends, and I was like, good match, man, or whatever. And I put my hand up to shake, and he won't shake my hand. He's like, he just says, "Fuck you, dude." And I was like, "Fuck me." And he's like, "Yeah, you beat me with Ness. Like, good job. Like, okay, great. You beat me with Ness." And I was like, "You are Marth. Like,
are we playing the same game?
You are equally high on the tier list as I am low. Like, it's like polar opposites." That might be true, like exactly the same amount. I don't know. And he's like, it's not the same if, like you're playing a low tier, like that's not a real win or whatever. And he finally takes my hand and like shakes it and like throws it down. Like he angrily shakes it.
Oh, I've gotten that before too.
He throws your hand.
Because I guess.
Wow.
It's like the aggressive handshake, like dismissive, but I still have to do this anyway. Like,
but also it was like 15 seconds after my initial offer for a handshake. That had expired.
Right.
I was no longer offering a handshake.
Did not say.
But he's like, I'm being a dick, but I don't want to be too much of a dick. I better grab his hand and throw it down.
They're opposites on the tier list by 1.
Okay. So.
Oh my god, dude.
And I mean, he just like, I don't know. He got outsmarted. That really upset him. And we like right when we unplugged our controllers, there's a lot of people like Mango and a Bait, or they're like hanging around. I don't know if they're like watching us, but like it's like a lot of people. And he's like yelling at me, and he's it says the win. It's not a real win or whatever. And he hopes I feel good about it.
Jesus Christ.
And I was
say, yes, I do.
Yeah, I mean, I beat a Marth. That feels pretty good. Like, it's not easy to beat Marth.
And he was also in round 2 of pools at Genesis 3. Like, that's a decent Marth, right? Like,
yeah, which means he's not awful. He's
Yeah.
a shitbag, but he's not terrible at the game.
For sure. So he storms off, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, that's crazy!" Like, everybody around is like, "What? That is bullshit." So I have to calm down, and then I play my next match a little bit later, and I play a Sheik. His name is Yoshi. His handle was Yoshi.
What the fuck is going on?
And I was like, okay, I can work with Yoshi.
Novelty pool.
I was like, I can beat Yoshi, but then he's Sheik, like the worst matchup.
Exact opposite of what you expected. Like, if there's that.
Yeah. So I'm playing the Sheik. I win game 1. Very close game 2, lose it, and I don't realize it, but my friends tell me games 2 and 3. Donkey Kong Main has come up behind me. He's standing behind my chair with his hands on the top of the chair. Like, he is directly behind me watching the match. Like,
Jesus.
Fuming. And my friend apparently said, okay, this guy, Yoshi or whatever, he was not chain grabbing me with Sheik. And I was like, I don't know if this is like out of principle or if he just doesn't know how. And my friend said to someone else, one of my other friends, like, oh, it looks like this guy doesn't know he can chain grab Ness. And DK Main says to him angrily, Sheik can't chain grab Ness, which is like, he can chain grab him to like 60 uninterrupted. So
just an unequivocally false statement.
Yeah, just what you need to hear.
The best chain grab possible. And I would know for sure.
Yeah,
right.
So I lose that one. That guy's very gracious, so I walk off. I'm talking to my friends. I'm still coming down. Like, okay, I'm knocked out of the tournament. It's been a weird day. And then I'm talking to like 5 of my friends, and also Simna is there, like the really good Ness player. And we're just chatting about whatever. And then Donkey Kong Main walks up. He like interrupts us mid-sentence, like we're talking about something else. And he's like, Jim Jam. He's like, $50 money match. And I was like, no. And
please,
he's like,
fuck off, dude.
He's like, but listen. He's like, you cannot play Ness. You have to play a high tier. All right. Yeah. And he claims later that he said he was going to play Falco, but it's beside the point. Like, I didn't remember. I thought he just said you play a high tier, but his standard was going to be I have to play as any high tier. He plays Falco, and that was going to like validate to him that he is better than me.
What the fuck?
And I was like, no, I'm definitely not doing that. I'm in no.
You give me 100 attempts at that question, and I would absolutely never say yes to you.
Yeah, I'm in no mood to do that. One, like, there's a reason I almost always just play Ness in tournament. Like, I'm okay at other characters, but like $50, that's crazy. And so he's upset that I won't do it. He's like, why? And I was like, the default position for taking a money match isn't, oh yeah, I'll do a $50 money match. Like,
you just decide my character, and we'll just start this whenever, man. You just get to pick everything.
Yeah, so I say no, I'm not doing that. You seem like a not cool person, so whatever.
Right,
and
right.
He, as he walks off, he says, like, fine if you feel good about your win against me.
What?
Or if you can live with your win against me, that's, or something like that. And I was like, all right. And then, so I did an AMA on Reddit.com. Someone asked about the Donkey Kong Main story. I gave a very brief summary, and then someone posted a link to a different Reddit thread and to this guy, and he's posting like some salty response he had, where it's a regular occurrence now when he posts and bitches about stuff. Other Reddit users will be like, oh, like that time you played Jim Jam? Like, they'll just randomly say it. So I looked back through his post history, and he posts like, I'm going to say 25 times every day. And I find some posts where he like, he goes off on super long tirades against people that play as Ness. Like, I wonder, and how,
so it's literally just him yelling at like 2 people on the internet over and over.
Yeah, and so he, like, 2 months later, he's still like posting about this. I guess I am too, because I'll like screenshot his post and then tweet that. So
it's
maybe
far less pathetic on your end, though. It's more like, hey, look at this weird thing that's happening to me.
It's continually happening.
That is nuts. Oh my god. So that's by far the saltiest thing you've ever experienced, and are still experiencing, I assume.
Yeah, it's got to be the saltiest thing. I mean, like, there's just regular salt. There's this guy. Did you ever see the YouTube video of his name is Forte Freak, and he's playing against Cloudburst and Project M, and he like loses and he immediately slams his
those
hand
are
out.
Arizona guys, huh?
Yeah,
I've
so
seen that, yeah.
his name's Chris Bell. He's actually a good guy, but so salty. You know, he gets so mad.
He lost to like a Squirtle or something. I remember that video.
Yeah, and the Squirtle is like, "Shake my hand, dude," and he's like, "No."
Yeah.
And the Squirtle's like, "Man," he's like, "I got better. Like, you got to give me that." And Chris is like, Forte Freak's like, "No, you didn't get better." Like, he's like, "Your
I
character
just suck.
Yeah, I got way worse. So
I'm actually the bad player. It's like, no, that's never what the realization will be.
like that guy, one time I was playing against him in teams in Project M, and he's another guy that's very stubborn, where what he'll do, he'll just do the same thing over and over. So the spot dodge thing, he was like trying to tech chase me with Sheik, and he kept running up to me, but I would spot dodge just before, and I'd grab him, and it was like losers finals or something of this small tournament. He paused the game in the middle of the game. It was like game 4 or something, best of 5. He slams his controller down, broke his controller, like permanently broke his controller, and forfeited the match. And it's like the only time I've ever beat him. So I feel like, I mean, you got like one win. You know, I like it's not that bad. I like, you know, go on some like crazy run where he's like unbeatable.
Do you think any of that is due? Like, is there just like this disdain with human beings who play the game against losing to Ness, or do you think it's more of like just a human being thing? You know, like I can't imagine.
He's just a boy, dude. You don't want to lose to a boy, do you?
It just seems odd that it's like, you know.
Yeah, it's Boy Fieri. It's Guy Fieri's son.
Boy Fieri, dude.
That's gonna be one of
in Earthbound. His dad is Guy Fieri.
Yeah, that's canon.
Fun fact.
That's canonical.
Have you played Earthbound?
Only a little bit.
You haven't finished it?
No.
Oh my god.
I think when I was picking up a character years ago, I think I did look at it and was like, Ness seems like the least intimidating. On some level, I think I chose him ironically, knowing nothing about any of the characters.
Yeah.
And it was just like, this is funny to play with Ness. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Earthbound is a grind. I wouldn't recommend it if you don't have the time. But I wanted to. I remember something about Evo. Okay, so at Evo, me and somebody in your room and somebody in my room knew the same man. Right?
It was probably Mike based young.
I think so.
Yeah.
And he knew our friend Cody, who Griffin has a history with.
Yeah.
Cody loves me.
And so anyway, we end up going to Jim Jam Flim Flam's room, and they're like playing teams on this setup in Melee, and it was cool. We start playing teams. I'm like, who the fuck plays casual teams? But whatever, you know, I'll play Melee. I still don't like teams, and I turn and it all registers in my head after like 3 games. I'm like, you guys are the Smash Bros guys. and Jim Jam's like, yeah. I'm like, that's awesome. You guys are funny. He's like,
I hope you weren't like in a bad mood or something. I remember playing, but I can't remember if we were like upbeat or if we were just like, oh, we're tired, just playing doubles, not
you
talking.
guys were actually pretty tired, but like you weren't like in a bad mood. You were just like existing as boys in the
Who
world.
play the game that we all love, yeah.
And so that was cool. And so, all right, so this is where it gets. I wanted to ask a couple questions to Jim Jam.
He's been waiting.
We leave our setup in the room. Me and my friend Scott, we went to like go get food or some shit, and we leave our setup in the room. And we assumed everyone would just kind of stay in the fucking room playing Melee, but apparently there was like this party. And this secret, I'm about to crack this shit open. There was this secret fucking like top player like old school Smash fucking party that took place in like the presidential suite.
Yeah, dude, that was
floor.
That's the best thing I've ever experienced, probably at a tournament.
So this party is like bumping. Like you wouldn't think these are fucking video game players. Like there were like chicks in black dresses. There was liquor. It was like legit, and it's in this like presidential suite. Marble
it's like the top floor. Yeah,
it was beautiful. And so, anyway, we go to your room. Like someone, I think it was Blea in there, Blea and Nunn or something, or no, it was after that even. Someone is in your room, and they're like, "Yeah, they're fucking gone. They took your setup. I think they went to this party. I think it's on the top floor." And we're like, "Fuck, we were trying to leave." And I'm like, "Well, I gotta get my setup." So we go up to this top floor. We have to hang out outside of the door because we hear the party going on, but we knock on the door and it's just the music's too loud and no one can hear. Yeah. So we're just like sitting outside of the fucking door like we're weirdos, like waiting to get in. But we have a real reason because like we got to get our setup, we got to go.
This is the saddest shit I've ever.
It wasn't exclusive, but we just didn't. We didn't like post it on Melee and On Me or anything. Right, but it wasn't like, in my opinion, like if people showed up, we were like letting them in. I think.
Exactly. Like so when me and Scott did the door finally opened and we go in and it's this fucking party and it's like, oh my god, this is like the Melee royalty just like all hanging out in one place. And there was like hella setups everywhere and
people like, I don't know if they were like dancing and shit then, but yeah,
it was lit. It was straight up. And so anyway, we go up to you guys. You guys are still playing teams, which was so precious.
We were playing teams the whole time. Yeah. We were playing teams the whole time, even while they were transferring the setup.
Yeah,
uninterrupted.
Just carrying a battery pack, just like trying to hold the CRT steady. And so you guys are playing teams, and we go like, "Hey guys, we got to take the setup." And you're like, "Oh shit, okay." And then you finish your match, and then we take the setup, and Scott's like, "Dude, we should stay." I'm like, "No, dude, we have to leave. We have to," because we had to like drive to California, and get there in time for something. To pick up his dog, or he'd have to like pay $90 more or something.
Yeah,
I'm like, "Bro, we gotta go, man." And he's like, "All right." So anyway, that was from my perspective. Now this party, did you stay the whole time? I want to hear about this. Party.
Man, I'll tell you the party. So like Taj, like the Mewtwo player,
right?
From
AKA
Arizona.
Ty.
Right? That one person. And this guy Justin, who I often team with, he just booked this room like 7 months in advance, and he's like, "I know we can have a party here, and everybody will come." And so Justin, one night, like $1,500. He spent $1,500, paid for the whole thing himself. Like he has a good job and stuff, so it wasn't like huge.
That was like the rate for the night for the room.
Yeah, I mean it was it was like top floor, party suite.
Yeah, it was high level shit.
And then Taj like bought all the liquor. He just like bought like $600 worth of liquor, and he was like being bartender. And so we were like, we got to get the word out about this party. So like, strike up a conversation with like someone that is cool or famous, and just be like, "Hey man, what's up? We got a party later." Like slip it into the conversation, and so just like the word got out, and probably not while you were there, but later. I mean, Armada, Leffen, Mango.
No shit. No,
yeah,
we didn't.
They all came. Armada was dancing, so awkwardly, like bouncing up and down.
I just imagine he dances like the one kid from the Peanuts who did the thing where he like flaps his arms and like bobs his head from like he looks 90 degrees this way, and then 180 turns around. I imagine that.
Basically, was like D1 came. So many. Like top 50 players or whatever. Like, of course, like Wobbles. I don't know. I probably shouldn't just name drop for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you had to be there. It was sick.
Let me talk about it more.
Though. A lot of people.
Yeah, and it was awesome. Just we would be drinking, and then like. There's so many setups, people playing. There was a big group of people dancing. I stayed till like 6 a.m. The party was going. I mean, when I left at like 5 or 6, it was like still people in there hanging out. Not a lot, but...
Did you play teams until 6 a.m.?
No, I stopped playing pretty soon because you'd have to wait for a long time to get on the setup.
That was even more painful when we took the setup. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, you're making the party slightly worse.
Yeah. Fuck off, man.
You gotta do it.
Slight story. We actually hated the people who took the setup.
I mean, anything like any cool like party shit happen? Did someone like piss off the balcony or like fight?
Those
or was it
balconies
pretty mild?
Those balconies were locked. They won't even let you go out there, so people won't piss off them or jump off them.
Just a sign on it
Or
said
both at the
pissing.
same
It's
time.
pretty
That's the
upset.
best.
God
Yeah.
damn
Pissing as
fascists.
you fall. Yeah, let's go. Oh yeah, finished. Go ahead.
I think one funny thing, Mango, he had been like playing blackjack or something for hours. And what was the name of which casino was it again? Do you remember?
The
Bally's? Was that the
Bally's,
one?
yeah. So Mango comes up and at like 2 a.m. or something, and he's like looking a little bit downbeat, obviously, because he played so shitty.
this was after finals when this happened. So
Sunday night. And he's wearing this Bally's hat, and he's got it kind of pulled down, like kind of low, like he's kind of creeping in there. And just to be like a jackass, I like walked up and I was like, whoa, where did you get that hat, bro? Like we're in Bally's and he's wearing a Bally's hat. And I'm like, I gotta know where you got that hat, man. And he just looked at me like, yeah. Like, okay, all right, man. And then he just like
Fucking funny guy over here.
yeah, real funny.
And that's the idea of him just sadly playing blackjack for hours on end.
And betting,
that's fun.
betting like $200.
Yeah.
It's just fucking to drown the sorrow.
He's like, I gotta get this hat at least to commemorate.
I think it might have been a rumor, but I was at the blackjack table after Evo as well, and I was playing, and Juggle Guy was on the table, and TK Breezy and some other guys, and they were like, just shooting the shit, playing blackjack, and Juggle Guy mentioned that Mango was down like $8,000, like after he lost, and I was like, shit. I'm going to tell everybody that because that's really funny. But I don't think it's true. I don't know because I heard different accounts from people closer to Mango. It's like, yeah, he didn't lose that much money. Anyway.
Man, that'd be so fucking annoying to like walk into a room and have everyone look at you and just everyone's heard different things and be like, did you actually lose $8,000? Like, I just want to
I
just want to drink and play a video game.
I know, it's the price of fame, dude.
He definitely wasn't playing Melee that night. None of the gods were playing. I'm sure everybody was like, yo, play a friendly. We did, I did shots with Armada. Armada's like, and I don't know him at all. This is just this one experience, but he's not as like, he's very like reserved or whatever. So he's not like the most fun guy to party with, I would say, but like very friendly and courteous, but he's just kind of like, okay, like you want to do a shot? Fine, let's do it. And then he just puts it down and like talks to someone else.
I feel
like you need one of those in like a large party. Cause if everyone's just this like off the wall character type, you need a few neutrals in there to kind of like mellow everyone out.
That should be your next. That should be your next like square of like the like neutral good but it's like partiers.
Party neutral.
Yeah, I saw those that post. You should definitely do partiers.
Yes,
do partiers.
At least want like a a sub credit. I'm not asking for royalties here, but a couple bucks. Just to
let's put you in like size 0.5 spawn.
Yeah. Also, kind of thought of by this one person I kind of know.
All right.
One other thing, final thing. I remember like drunkenly saying to Ice, I was like, there were like a lot of like girls there, and I was like, Ice, yo, you got this. You're super attractive. You could do this.
Right?
And he's like, no, like just a German like accent. No, and
complete dismissal of the thought.
But hold on. Before we go, because I know Anthony wants to.
No. I wanted to get to our last segment, but no, you're good.
Okay. I'm gonna say this. Aside from the obvious answer of Norwalk, or anyone from Norwalk, who in the Smash community do you think gets down, like goes the hardest in the paint when they drink?
Let's see. I don't know. I feel like
just theoretically, you don't need to like.
Oh, just theoretically.
I mean, Chillin's actually got a resume. Like there are boys in the scene that are historically have partied, but like, do you mean ones that like just kind of like, what if Nintendo showed up to a party with like some fucking blow and was just like, let's get ripped, boys, like,
and also play Ice Climbers. Just uncoincident.
I want to imagine that Ken.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like skulking around, just getting fucking like smashed.
Pull some meth out of his New Balance and is like,
I'm not saying who shows up with like the hardest. Like,
I'm just saying, like,
who do you like? Wizro walks in with like black tar heroin. I'm not saying that. I'm saying who is the most likely to end up nearly dead at the end of a night. whose personality would lend, because you know how you meet someone and you think this is probably a guy who if they have unlimited alcohol from him, they're probably going to almost die. Like you've met those types of people, haven't you?
Right.
Yeah, well, maybe not. I'm still 19, so I don't.
I don't know why, but I feel like DOH.
Oh yeah,
could really let loose at, like after a tournament. I could see him dancing on a table.
Right.
Even more
shade on his head.
Down from the already buttoned too tight button up.
Yeah, he just like flex it, like pushes his chest out and just pops open that shirt.
Boom! Little buttons fly off, hit you in the eye.
But, like, you can tell that it's practiced, right? Like he's done this with multiple shirts. Like it's down to a science. That's what I'd like to imagine.
It's not even a button shirt. It's one of those like little metal, like snap
like
buttons.
70s basketball, like what you imagine, like taking off all that. Yeah.
I bet it's someone like totally mild mannered. I bet like Swedish Delight or something. He's in a frat,
or like Duck.
So,
Duck, dude.
Or Duck.
Duck probably goes ham, dude.
No, I'm putting my money in on Swedish Delight because you've got like, I don't mean to be like, stereotypical, but my experience is Asians have very low tolerances. So you've got Asian, mild mannered, and he's in
a chic.
He's in a fraternity at fucking Rutgers, and that's one of those schools where if you're going to Rutgers, you need to be drinking.
Shut up, you frat boy cocksucker.
All right, guys, amateur hour. I know.
Anyway, Jim Jam, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, it was awesome. Thanks for having me.
You know what's cool about you is I can never tell if you're in character or not. They're perpetually an enigma, and I respect that.
I'm in character definitely this whole podcast. It's been I was doing an impersonation of Robert Scribner with the voice, but I was doing the Jim Jam character. Yeah.
Okay.
Or character.
Right. See, that's fucked up. I love that. Like,
are you wearing neon right now?
I'm wearing neon pants. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Just pants.
Like a black shirt, like tasteful, somewhat form-fitting, and neon green pants.
Somewhat form-fitting.
Amazing. Wonderful. Yeah, and anytime if something ever happens to you, you get hit by a bus or like you decide to main Fox, anything that you feel is like, hey, I'll go on and talk to the boys about this one, come on back, dude.
Yeah, and
we'll welcome you with open arms.
And if you do get hit by a bus, we'll give you at least half of our ad revenue right now, which is about $4, maybe $5.
Yeah.
So just look forward.
Anything would help.
That goes right to you.
Anything you could give me would definitely help.
Buses don't exactly hit soft, so I understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you again for coming on. Also, follow him on Twitter. Do all that dumb shit.
Promote yourself here.
I feel lame whenever I say that, but it feels like like a formality. Like I have to say it because if I don't, it's like I'm telling people not to follow you if I don't say it. So
what a fucking snub.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
I'm never going back on the show.
Actually, Jim Jam's tweets are like I can tell earmuffs. Jim Jam. I can tell he actually has a sense of like comedy and timing and sort of joke construction from his tweets. They're actually the more funny like things that come out of Twitter melee wise. So shouts out for real.
I still think your MVG business proposition is the funniest thing I've ever
Oh my god, that was legendary.
Just because like I could imagine myself doing that, and I'd like put the information there, but you had like this shitty formatting and like the transitions, which like screwed with the pictures in the background.
What sucks is I made that in PowerPoint, and it was amazing. Like it was way better. There were sound effects constantly happening, but then I was like, I don't know anything about how to upload a presentation and have random people view it. So I was like, I don't know, Google Documents. And so I put it up there, and it lost every transition and sound. So I did what I could. I put more stuff in there, but maybe if I eventually find out, I'll show you the remastered version.
Yeah,
what you could do is you could do a screen capture video of it with the sounds playing on it, and then just host it as a video.
Everyone bug Jim Jam for the unabridged version of the legendary MVG.
Bad Melee exclusive, guys. You heard it.
I'll host that shit. I'll do it.
Yeah, I'll do it then.
No, give him he gets the views. It's for when he gets hit by the bus.
Oh, you can put it. You can
it just goes on Google Docs anyways.
You guys can host it on your Google Docs account.
He needs the Google Docs ad revenue.
Yeah, dude, that bus is coming for him.
The bus is, yeah.
Every day he's looking out for this thing now.
It gets a little closer every day. It's going so slow.
Thank you. Good night. I don't fucking know.